Hello, thank you for doing this. It's a kind of a two-parter question. I'm in Los Angeles and we have the writer strikes going on in the entertainment industry, which directly affects me and my husband. It affects the casting part of my life and it affects my husband. I didn't realize how emotional this was going to be for me. Um, he's a talent agent. He owns an agency and he's having to lay people off, and the pressure is just insane financially. And so we were having a conversation about it on Friday, and I asked the universe, like, give me a sign that this is all going to be okay. And I was on my way out on Saturday morning, and I went to close my curtains as I was putting on my necklace and my earrings, and it caught on the rod, so it left about a 2-inch space. It didn't shut all the way, and this hummingbird flew right up to the window and just flap, 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 flap. I mean, it was so intentional because there were no plants there. It's the back of my house, a stucco wall and a glass, there's nothing for that hummingbird to pollinate. And I'm like, oh my God, like, and so I flipped open the curtains, and it was there. It seemed, time gets so weird in those situations. It seemed like 20, 30 seconds, which was an incredibly long time for a hummingbird to be flapping his little wings at me. And so I was just so excited, and like the rest of the day just went so great. So my first question is, I mean, I certainly took that as a sign from the universe. And so my question about that, it seems like when we ask for these things, we get them, but am I just putting my own meaning on that? Or really does source and universe really communicate with us in these beautiful ways?
So what if we told you that it was both?
Yeah,
You
that would
put it
make
out
sense.
there. You
Yeah.
put it out there. You co-create it with source. You co-create the experience. So in that moment, after you asked, perhaps you asked the day before, it doesn't
I did.
really matter. The
Yeah.
question was there. The desire was there. The openness was there. So what really took place is nature is really such a good permission slip for all of this, because nature is so resistance free. It's so instant connection. It's a door. And what happened in that moment as you were looking at this hummingbird for those 30 seconds, there's an opening that happened in your energy. There's a connection that happened with that hummingbird where you felt it. It's like time stops. And that sensation of time stopping is you calibrating to a different frequency. The whole purpose was you calling out to the universe saying, when you ask for signs, you are really asking to sort of give yourself a wink from another version of you. And this is what took place. So
Okay.
it created sort of an opening in your frequency, a recalibration, a reorganization, so that the rest of your day, you calibrated to a different perspective. You calibrated to a different experience, even say a different version of you. So in the same way that you allowed yourself to ask and receive, create and receive this experience, you can also do this for things that feels a little bit more important, such as the situation with the strike that's going on. Now, that said, we also feel how, as you were getting emotional sharing the story, there's a certain charge of energy there. There's a certain attachment to it being a specific way, or charge to it not being in the way that it is.
Yeah.
So the most important key that we can offer around that topic would be to find a way to soften the energy around it. Make it be okay. Make this current transitional time of the strike, make it be the most pivotal point of both of your careers. But you have to tell the story. You can't tell an old story that a strike means no money means da 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 da.
Yeah.
There needs to be a rewritten story.
Yeah. I I get that. That's where the challenge lies.
Of course, and allow that to be difficult right now because you are in the gunk of it.
Yeah.
You are in the thickness of the situation. What we are offering is we are presenting you with a path,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that you're ready to accept the initiation and the challenge right away,
Yeah.
because you can guide your sails in the direction of, okay, this is going to be a launching point for me, right? But
Right.
you have to allow yourself to be in the process in real time, located where you are. So if where you are is feeling sad and confused and disappointed, or whatever emotion is there, you need to honor that. Because again, the co-creational dance between the human and the divine. It's not only ignoring the human and pointing to the divine. You need to honor what is present.
And so does that, so because part of my question too is like when something like a strike like this happens, it just puts so many people out of work. It just, negatively, I'm in quotey fingers, affects so many people. So is it just, even though it's affecting so many people simultaneously, I guess there's the collective perspective of it, and then each individual doing what you're saying as we go through it.
It is a very big time, meaning on the planet collectively, you have all asked for this. We'll call it, you can view it as almost like a wave that is passing through, where each one of you of your lives, there's a specific area, perhaps two areas, perhaps all of the areas. Everything's being shaken up. The soup is being mixed up. Everything that you knew to be familiar, comfortable, rooted,
Yeah.
it's being questioned, it's being tested, and there's a purpose for this. It's to bring you to a place of full surrender to the trust of, it's about trusting and surrendering without knowing.
Yeah.
Because we're taking the mind out of the equation. The mind thinks it knows everything. The mind is convinced that it knows where everything is heading.
Yeah.
And in the new paradigm where you all find yourself, there's no knowing. The knowing is knowing that you are safe and secure in this life. You are safe and secure in this universe, and you are fully taken care of. You are fully supported. You are divinely provided for. This is the work. This becomes the work, right?
Yes.
And we know you're following along here.
Yes.
Is this going where you want it to go?
Yeah, and that's just kind of one of my big lessons, is the trust, which of course as a human creates wobble sometimes.
Of course. And the wobble is serving you, even if it feels like you're losing sure footing, right?
Yeah.
The wobble on the planet of duality, the tension, the contraction, the wobble, the stickiness is so serving, because it launches you in the other direction. It launches you for wanting different, for wanting more, for and the wanting and the desiring brings out the creator in you. It brings out the creativity and the innovation in you, right?
Yes, and the wanting and then allowing.
Yes, allowing.
Launch those rockets. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
But the hummingbird episode experience was sort of a little honey drop to show you just how delicious it feels when you are in full co-creation mode with source.
Yeah.
It gets to be very yummy. It gets to be very delicious when you're calibrating to that flow, to that overflow. And if you're not in that overflow, it's simply a part of you, the human you, that's bumping you out of that flow, and allow that to be okay.
Yeah. And I just keep living that hummingbird experience so that I can keep enjoying that, keep milking it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can I throw something really quick before we move on?
Yes.
Right now, I believe that we are all, or many of us, are in this period of, let's call it high uncertainty. where we really feel like reality is sluggish. We don't know where reality is going. But at some point, we will come out of this. And when we come out of this, there is an infinite number of doors that we can choose to walk through as we come out. Some of those doors being incredible magical realities, some of those doors possibly being less preferred realities. And the stories that we tell here and now are what define what those doors are going to be when we step out of this period.
Yeah. And just keep choosing what we want and focus on that versus what's actually happening.
Yeah, you've made me realize this has been incredibly helpful for me because I've realized that I've been in this place of, oh, reality feels so stuck, so unknown. When the hell am I going to get out of here? When what I should really be telling as a story is, ooh, I can't wait for the next thing to show up when I step out of this because it's going to be so magical and so amazing and so brilliant and so next level. And that's the story I need to start telling rather than the story of, oh, I can't wait to be out of this.
I love that. Like universe, I can't wait for you to show me what's next.
Yes.
What you just said might be the most important thing out of this whole conversation is as you are in the muck, as you are in the ebb, we'll call it that. If you can come to the realization of this time, this season, of just how potent it is for you, giving you an opportunity to choose your choice point, to create your stories, to play within the fact that everything is slowed down and sort of like stuck in molasses or honey. It's an advantage to you. Are you utilizing this slowness to actually go into the muck and recreate the stories? Or are you sort of just, oh, this sucks, right? There's what attitude are you coming at it from?
Yeah, very, very helpful. It's just constant shifting, constant recalibrating, constant, it's, yeah, I get it. Forever, exactly. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.